Good evening, UC Bearcat fans. It's UC Bearcats on the prowl with James Ernest and Mark Fightmaster. Mark, what have those Bearcats been up to?
Well, James, you and I have talked Bearcat football for a long time, Bearcat sports for a long time. I would have to say that this past Saturday was one of the best days for the football team in a long time. In a long time since their playoff appearance. This Scott Satterfield, the coach, has been looking for a signature win, right? He's been looking for that one signature win. And we thought last week or 2 weeks ago, Kansas, it was all right, not bad going to Kansas and win on the last play of the game, or one of the last plays of the game. But Iowa State rolled in this past Saturday at noon, sitting at 5-0, and the Bearcats were able to get out of there with that signature win for Scott Satterfield. They ended up winning 38-30, despite the best efforts of the referees.
Oh, definitely. It felt like they were trying against them. But the nice thing is they dominated the majority of the game. I mean, heck, at
Mhm.
one point they were up 17-0 and then up
Yep.
31-7. So I mean,
Yep.
they had control of it. It was just at the end when it ended up getting close and being 30-38. So
Yeah, and quite honestly, James, I think it was that probably about 8 minute game game time swing
mhm,
right at the end of the first half when the referees really called what was really a phantom pass interference on an interception.
mhm.
They called defensive pass interference, and you can watch that replay 10 times and say it shouldn't be called, and that's as UC fans. Of course, Iowa
Yeah,
State fans are going to say, "Oh yeah, it should have been called." So, and because that gave them what an untimed down to run
exactly.
a play from the 4 yard line, and it was a quarterback draw, and they scored, and they got the 2 point conversion to make it what 31-15 at half.
Mhm.
And then they got the ball to start the second half and went right downfield and scored real fast to make it what 31-22,
Yeah,
and make it a touch uncomfortable. I mean, it was uncomfortable there for a few minutes.
definitely. But yeah, I mean, overall though, great game.
Hmm.
Like you said, it's just, little things that they need to work on. But I mean, heck, you said it at the beginning, it was his signature win because he hasn't really had that to hang your hat on that moment. With a win like this,
Hmm.
I mean, I still think he needs to make the bowl game or a bowl game to keep
Hmm.
the job. But this one
Yeah.
definitely goes a long way, which is kind of funny because last year we were in the same spot. We were 5-2, and then unfortunately finished 0-5. I
Yeah.
don't think that's going to happen again, obviously.
I don't think so either, James. I mean, so they've got Central Florida coming up this week,
Mhm.
which, we'll talk about that in a few minutes. I mean, I think that's an eminently winnable game. And
Mhm.
then they've got Oklahoma State after that, who's 1-4. So there should be two wins right there, and then you're sitting at
Exactly.
what, 7-1. So but we'll deal with those in a minute. And this was the win that Satterfield needed. And you're right. I don't know if he saved his job, um, but depending on what happens the rest of the season. But man, yeah, I mean, this they dominated. Uh, they got the big play when they needed it. I was able to watch this game because it wasn't on TNT.
Yeah.
Um, and it was funny watching it. They were like, okay, UC needs a big play here. They need a big play, and that's the exact moment they went deep to Goody for the
Nice.
82-yard touchdown. I mean, it was that play. It was as the ball was being snapped. Sam Acho, who was doing the color commentary, was like, "Bearcats, they need to go up top and get a big play." And boom, right on cue. So
And maybe the
it,
coaches heard him.
yeah, possibly it was perfect. I mean, and yeah, the game got a little more closer, a little more close than I wanted it to be. A little too close for comfort at times. But I don't know. As the confidence built throughout the game, there was the sense that they were going to make that kind of play when they needed to, and they did. They got the long pass to Goody, so it was a fun. Well, I haven't been able to say this about a lot of UC football games in the past 5 years. It was a fun game to watch.
Exactly. And I want to apologize. I said 5-2 earlier. I don't want to jinx us. We're 5-1, so we don't need
Yeah.
to be adding any extra losses or anything like that.
Yes. Exactly, exactly. So, but no, it was really good. And you're right. This does set us up, but you talked about last year when we were at 5-2 or whatever it was, and we lost the last five. The next two games are almost must wins. Central Florida and Oklahoma State, because they are both have bad records. Or, well, 3-2
Exactly.
for Central Florida, 1-4 for Oklahoma State, and they just fired Gundy. But after that, you got Baylor, Utah, Arizona, BYU, and TCU, all who have a combined right now.
Hmm.
That's five teams with a combined two, three, four, five losses
Hmm.
this far in the season. So it's a tough run out. So now the question is, are we going to have this good feeling in 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now? So
Well, like you said, the good news is with the next two games, we should be able to lock up our bowl or not, yeah,
mhm.
our bowl bid,
Yeah,
and then after that, then it's all gravy afterwards.
right. And I mean, James, this game was so big for UC and the stage was so big. They're the 26th ranked team in the country.
Mhm.
They were like two votes. They're the top of the others getting votes
Mhm.
in the top 25. I mean, ahead of Texas, ahead of Penn State,
Yep.
who dropped out. I mean, so people are liking what they see now. What we need is Satterfield to have that consistency.
Mhm.
Last year he didn't have it. So can he have that consistency this year out of his team? And I'll tell you one reason why I think they may is that offensive line.
Oh gosh, yeah. Third time this year, Big 12 offensive line of the week.
Yeah, they're impressive.
Mhm.
They are physical. They are mean, and they block hard. And I mean, they may not be the most gifted, but I was always told you don't have to be the most gifted athlete. You just have to be the one that tries the hardest.
Exactly.
And with what you got, and that's what they're doing. So it's impressive. I have been a big Satterfield detractor in the past. I have said things like, "Oh, what's he thinking? He can't survive this loss." This was a good game for him.
Exactly. And the nice thing was is Pryor, Walker, and um, Sorsby all contributed with the running. Pryor, he had his two touchdowns, where it was, I
Yep.
believe, Walker last week that had two touchdowns.
Yep.
So it shows that both of them can contribute majorly. It's not just, one running back and the other one's, they're okay. It's really
Right.
both of them. So we got that two-headed, like you were saying before, you described them as, one being the power and one being the elusiveness. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And you want to talk about power? How about that hit that Walker put on that poor linebacker from Iowa State? I swear to you, I didn't think that kid was going to get up. I mean, he hit him so hard. There were people asking, wanting targeting on Walker because he hit him so hard. Like, you know what? He led with his head, but it hit chest. There's no targeting there. And speaking of targeting, we got screwed on a targeting call in the first half as well, for taking out our linebacker. And why can I not remember his name? It took him out for the second half, and I think that had a little bit to do with Iowa State coming back.
Yep. Ooh, that is another good thing because that was another one where we were Big 12 of the week with our defensive,
Yep.
with our linebacker, Jack Gayland.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, so Jack had the defensive player of the week. So that's another feather in their cap.
Yeah, I mean, it was as good, it was as all around good a game as I've seen UC football play since Fickle
Mhm.
left. So I'm sorry I said a bad word there,
I know.
but
You said the F word.
yeah. So, but it really was. This is as good all around of. I mean, special teams, everything was solid, and they played very well. My son was, he was mad
Yeah.
because he has a job in the parking department and had to work and had to
Okay.
give up his ticket for the game.
Mhm.
And he's texting me like, "Oh, they better not win because they're going to rush the field." Yeah, they rushed the field, son.
Well, of
So
course. Yeah.
he would have liked to have been there for that, but oh well.
Definitely. And then Royer showed up, which is nice.
Hmm.
He
Yep.
had a nice touchdown.
Yeah, and beyond the touchdown, his blocking downfield. I mean, that was actually Sam Acho actually called that out during the game. It was on, I think maybe one of Pryor's long runs, maybe his longer touchdown.
Mhm.
It called out how he went downfield and stalk blocked and did such a good job just sealing the guy off, and he really did. And so yeah, I know I've said that in the past few games, Royer disappeared, but he's actually kind of showing up in other ways, like if they're going to key on him as the receiver, like
Exactly.
they did. And if you watch that long touchdown to Goody, you'll see, and I can't remember exactly where he was in the formation, but Royer comes across the middle, and I believe it was left to right, comes across and draws the backers up, and the safety actually takes a step up. And
Oh,
that
nice.
safety taking the step up is what allowed Goody to get behind him and use
Exactly.
that speed. So he's there doing the little things.
Exactly.
So,
And that's the nice thing with him being well rounded like that. That's going to
mhm.
help him in the NFL and help him get drafted. Because, I mean, heck, even if he goes out there and catches 10 balls a game, but he can't block anybody,
Right,
he ain't going to have much of a career in the NFL. But
right.
with being able to block and being able to draw folks, yeah, I think
Mhm.
that's definitely a good sign for him.
Yeah, I think it is, and so he's kind of rounding his game out. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the at it right here. Yep, he went from actually, he may have gone from right to left and came from the slot right to left and pulled the safety up, which they were playing two deep safety, pulled the one safety up and let him go by. So, and it was beautiful. Oh, it was just a thing of beauty. And, I mean, yeah, in the past, we have, I have made fun of the team a little bit here and there for things, right? I mean, it's the nature of the beast, but this was a great game, and it got them the national recognition they deserve. Are they the 26th best team in the country? Yet to be seen. I mean, yet to be determined. They beat Iowa State. They beat Kansas. That's their ranked win. I mean, Kansas wasn't ranked when they beat them, but I mean, so they got a good ranked win over a good Iowa State team at home. So we'll see. The thing is, of the teams they have left to play, they only have one ranked team left to play right now, and that's BYU.
Yeah,
BYU
that
is
is definitely their toughest game left.
18th
I'm
in the
just
country.
I'm
So,
just surprised that they were able to win despite the penalties. Like you mentioned, a couple of them were quite big in yardage. I mean, heck, they had 13 penalties for 128 yards.
yeah, and James, I'm not. I mean, maybe it's the nature of sports fans to say, "Oh, the refs, the refs, the refs."
Yeah,
But there were points during that game where I was watching, like, "Good Lord!" And I was watching as objectively as I could. Okay, you know me, big Ohio State fan, not bigger, but a big Ohio State fan, a UC grad, and so I love the Bearcats. But I was watching very objectively that game, especially for our podcast, and just so I could see. And at one point, I thought to myself, "Daggone, man, these refs are really trying to take over this game." So it was tough. It was tough.
I agree. It did. I mean, it did feel like there was something got against them, not just.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was rough. It was rough. But you know what I mean? Look at the box score there. I mean, Sorsby threw for 314 yards. I mean, or no, hold on. Sorsby threw for 214
yeah. I
yards.
was going to say, yeah.
They didn't need him to throw for the
Mhm.
314 because they were able to run the ball.
And I
So,
think the other part that really changed it was the sacks. The fact that he, like you said, our offensive line being the offensive line of the week for the third time this season, gave
mhm,
up 0 sacks, where their offensive line gave up 4 sacks,
mhm.
fumbles forced. Our defense was really making an impact and really getting in there.
Yeah, and that targeting call on our linebacker, and still for the life of me, can't remember who it was. He drilled Beck, and it was targeting. I'm not saying it wasn't targeting,
Yeah,
but don't think that didn't affect Beck a little bit too. Oh yeah, he came back in and was all rah rah, and gave the
yeah,
sideline reporter some fun stuff to talk about. But I think he got a little jumpy after that.
yeah.
As far as I think his poise was impacted a
He
little
was
bit,
hearing
and whether
footsteps. It was in the back of his mind. Yeah, that kind of
right.
thing.
So it was targeting, yes. It was not dirty. It was targeting because he got a face mask
Yeah.
and got spun and then got hit. And so that gave him 30 yards and penalties too,
Oh, damn.
because the targeting was a tacked on personal foul. So, but that was in the back of Beck's mind. You could see it when he was dropping back the pass later in the game that, oh man, they're coming. There's going to be pressure.
Yeah, I mean, the important thing is they won against a major opponent,
Yep.
highly rated opponent. puts us at 5-1,
Hmm.
same as Iowa State. So I mean that's phenomenal right there, and
Yep.
actually gives us a little bit ahead of them because of course we win the tiebreaker.
Yep.
Plus, our loss being a non-conference loss really doesn't
Right.
affect, yeah, the Big 12. It's more, and then of course we got the game coming up this week.
Yeah.
CF, they're 3-2.
Hmm.
So they've got wins against Jacksonville State. No one cares. North Carolina, AT&T. I didn't know a phone company was whatever.
Yep.
And oh, I mean A&T. My bad. I thought,
Nah, it's all right.
yeah, same difference. And then the other North Carolina Belichick's, which unfortunately, and people were talking bad about him, but you know what? That's okay. I was going to
Yeah.
say he's getting paid a couple $1 million and he has a 24-year-old girlfriend.
Yep.
He doesn't want a couple $1 million and a 24-year-old girlfriend. Obviously, please don't tell my wife that. But yeah, that's what we all want is a couple $1 million and that.
Yeah. He's cashing checks, I mean,
Yeah.
so, and quite honestly, look at their two losses. They lost to Kansas
Mhm.
this past week, 27-20, and they lost to Kansas State 34-20. So I think it bodes well for the Cats. Another noon game at
Mhm.
home at NIPPERT with the crazy crowd. Because I don't know if you saw this, but I saw on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, the UC student section was voted the top student section of the week.
Ooh, nice.
Uh, yeah, for their efforts. So it looks like it's about a 70-30 split on that ESPN tracker, 70% UC winning, 30% Central Florida. I think what we're going to need to do, looking to that game, is really it's going to be the rushing game
Exactly.
of UCF. Their quarterback, I mean, he's thrown for 900 yards. That's fine. He's got 3 touchdowns and 1 interception on the season. The rest of it comes from running.
Oh yeah, they
Um,
dominate compared to their past. It's way more run. I mean, heck, they've scored 13 touchdowns running, and no one scored five. So I mean, that's saying they're pretty diverse in their
yeah,
backfield.
and they are, and that's fine. I think that plays well into what our defense has been doing well. Our linebackers have been playing very well.
They're playing
And then you got
great. The
Dante Quilly
Godfather's
and
back this week, yeah,
mhm,
because he was gone against Kansas, so that kind of hurt us
yeah,
there. That's a lot of people saw how well Kansas did offensively and thought, is UC not that good? Well, we were missing a big cog. I mean, we're missing a future NFL draft pick,
right,
so
yeah,
it was gonna give us a little more problems. Plus,
hmm,
Kansas's quarterback Daniels is darn good. I mean,
yeah,
no one's taking anything away from him anytime soon.
right. So yeah, exactly. I think Corleone played a big role this past week. He's going to play a big role against Central Florida, being able to occupy the middle of that line. If with the position he's playing, basically the de facto nose guard position, he's going to take that center and that guard on a every play basis. Just what side? That's going to free up our linebackers to get through. And then also he's strong enough to split that double team and make plays in the backfield, and he's a heck of a
Exactly.
pass rusher. So, I think UC wins this one. James, I don't want to predict the score because I've been so wrong every time. But I think well, actually, the last two games we both predicted that they would lose. Um, but I think they can. I think they win this game. I don't think they win it by. I think they win it by a couple scores, maybe like 24-14,
Yeah, something like that.
31-21,
Yeah, I
something
was
like
going to
that.
say 28-12 or
Yeah.
35-20, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is a good game. This is a good matchup for them, and get us to that, to a good record as we head into a game that they should win easily,
Mhm.
and be looking at 6-1 is 6-1, 7 or what? We're 4-1 now, so it'd be get 2 wins, be 6-1.
Mhm.
So as we head into the tough part of the season, let's get bowl eligible and see what happens.
And on the bright side, we're playing Arizona, not Arizona State this season. So that helps a lot. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Because, yeah, I
That's
saw
right.
Arizona. I'm like, oh, shoot, no, State's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Regular Arizona, we don't have to worry about. And like you said, BYU is definitely a concern.
Hmm.
Arizona or Baylor and TCU, we'll get there.
They are what they are.
They are what they are. Exactly. So it sounds like things are going good for the Bearcats.
Yes, they are.
Hopefully, not that far off from basketball because it's good that
Yeah.
somebody in Cincinnati is doing well. I know the pro teams have kind of let us down of late.
Not so good. Not so good.
Yeah,
But hey, we got the Bearcats, right?
exactly. That's the important thing. So, any final
Yes, it is.
thoughts?
Now, you know what? Let's get a good win this week and build on it and keep building on what a very solid foundation of the past 2 weeks.
Definitely. Well, for James Ernest and Mark Fightmaster, this has been UC Bearcats on the Prowl.